3 out of 3 casters believe Nick should not be on this show.
Thank you. 12 weeks and we finally nailed one. Good evening, everyone, and now I just noticed that I did put Lan Ears in the title. Thank you, Mike, for pointing that out. And I'm going to update that. It was Lan Wars, not Lan Ears. Good evening, everyone. It is Esports Canada TV. It is Monday night, and we are live across the nation and the rest of the world, possibly into space. I'm not sure how far Twitch does, in fact, broadcast. I am your host, at Quinn of the Net, John Quinn. Follow me on Twitter, please, and you can also follow these two goons. I'm looking at a thumbs down right now from Nick Song. Follow him at ESC Songers, and Purple Shirt Frank at ESC Jovian. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Nice font choice on those Twitter accounts.
Thank you.
Thomas really does look like he's a wizard from Days of Old with
Wow.
that font.
I think that's Lucida. I'm not sure which one that is. As you can see, guys, there in the lineup tonight for you, we have Thomas Shifrer from ESFI. We have a little rundown of Lan Wars IV that happened in Toronto this past weekend. We're going to talk about Lonestar Clash 2, and we're going to get Frank up to date on that, because he didn't know what Lonestar was before this.
Yes, I did.
You can see the breadth of knowledge that we bring to you guys each week.
Look at that
with our
confusion.
talented and knowledgeable hosts. I'm going to drop some knowledge bombs on all the peoples about the Bell Fiber Op Gaming Cup coming up in just another week's time, and it's going to be going on all year long, so look out for that. And then I have a hilarious anecdote about a stolen laptop that I'm just going to use to fill time maybe after the break. But before we get into that hilarious quip, we do have our special guest for the evening from ESFI, a senior journalist, Thomas Shifrer. Thomas, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show.
No problem. Thank you. As you can see just above Thomas's beautiful face, you can follow him on Twitter at the Wizard, _Wizard with a 4 instead of an A, because you're elite. Thomas, you work for ESFI. Why don't you kind of tell me where you're from, how you got started with the whole video game industry, and how you came to find yourself working for ESFI?
Okay. Well, it all started about a year ago. I don't know if everybody remembers In Control's famous, well, not famous, but he made a post on TL about how if you have passion for esports or whatever, you should just get involved. Like, no matter what you do, just find something and get involved doing it. So I read that post, and this was like around December, and I had just been, it's like the end of the tournament season. So I just watched a whole bunch of tournaments, and ESFI brought like a lot of great video interviews and coverage and stuff like that. So I read the post, and I was thinking to myself, well, what can I do? What am I good at doing? I suck at StarCraft, so I can't be a pro gamer. I watch a lot of StarCraft.
Should have started a show like us, Thomas.
Yeah, guess so. So I got involved like that. I just figured, what am I good at? I'm okay at writing. I can make a sentence. So, well, my editors might think differently, but I can make a sentence, and I'm okay at writing. So I was like, all right, let's give this a shot. So I sent our president, Brent Ruiz, I sent him an email, and he got back to me within like a week. Brought me on as just doing a bunch of odd writing jobs and stuff like that. And about a year later, I guess I'm here now on the premier esports Canada or esports show in Canada.
Oh, you know it.
As a special guest, so I guess it's been pretty good so far.
Congratulations, sir. You have arrived.
I know, and you've made it win, right?
Tell that to Ken Silva. He was not happy to be on this show. Thomas, how did you kind of get into the whole video game world? I mean, you said that you followed that post, but I mean, before that, how active were you in the community? Were you an avid Redditor? Were you kind of making posts and whatnot there? Were you playing a lot of games? Were you visiting LANs? Were you kind of a guerrilla journalist before this?
No, I mean, I did a little bit of writing for a few school papers before this. But I mean, it's sad for me to say, but I was involved in esports for like a year before this. My friend got me onto GSL, and then it was all just downhill from there. It was all just
uphill.
yeah, right. Sorry, my bad. It's all uphill from there. Um, you know, I just yeah, it all happened so fast. It's crazy, and I guess I'm kind of a shill because I've only been following the scene for a year. I watched a little bit of Brood War back in the day, like high school, but I've only really gotten involved in the past year, and it's been quite an adventure since then. But I definitely have. I've been playing games my entire life. I had an NES. I had a Super NES. So, I've been here since the beginning. Since I was like 5 years old, I've been playing video games, and I love video games. I'm glad now that I can actually take my love of video games and do something active with it. Bam.
Oh, whoa.
Yes. For anyone not in the know, I was telling Thomas, I was kind of ribbing him beforehand. He was asking, how long should I answer questions and whatnot. I said, you don't have to do 20-minute spiel, but if you do go long, just make sure at the end of it to say boom or bang, because we're going to fall asleep, so we need to be woken up by the time. But none of us fell asleep. You can go back and check the VOD.
No, actually, I should probably be the one who has to ask the next question, but the reason why we were pausing is because on our forums at Esports Canada, on the Esports Canada site, we asked the community, are there any questions you'd like to ask Thomas? And we actually got a couple of responses. So just before the show, we put these up here, and we didn't really organize who was going to say what. So it's probably me who should say it. And also, people who are watching now, if you do have any questions, make sure you post them in chat, and if we get time, we'll definitely ask them. But one member of our community, Luca, asked, seeing as you have a good understanding of the growth of esports over the past year, where do you see esports 10 to 15 years from now? I'm assuming we're talking about Canadian esports, but answer that as you please.
Well, to speak about it locally, I mean, you only have to look to Esports Canada to see the huge impact that they've had on the scene with the Barcrafts in Toronto, in Victoria, I think it is, in British Columbia. So you guys are like national, and that's just talking about Canada. But the growth overall, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of doom and gloom over the past few weeks, with Destiny Post, StarCraft's dead game, all this other stuff, It's hard to say. After, I know Nick's gonna ask me about this later, but after being at Dallas and talking to the people behind the scenes at Dallas, and knowing some of the people behind the scenes, it's not over. You know what I mean? Like we're not going downhill, so to speak. It's plateaued a little bit, I think, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think now is the time for like innovation and growth in that sense, because we have everything's coming into place. There's a circuit sort of, tournaments run from like January or February all the way to November, and then December is no tournaments, and that's like universally regarded now all over the scene. DreamHack, NASL, IPL, MLG, they're all coming to a consensus in that sort of sense. So now we just need local scenes and stuff like that to start popping up. We need more activity there, and I think that's where we need to go next in terms of growth. And of course, Canada. I hope to see some big events in Canada too soon, because I'm Canadian. I don't like travel. Well, I love traveling, but I don't like the price tag that goes along with traveling to America,
right.
For the events. But I don't. To answer your question, I see it growing from now on. It's not going downhill.
Perfect.
Speaking of traveling, you went to Dallas about 2 weeks ago for MLG. Can you talk a little bit about your experience there? Maybe what was your esport moment of Dallas?
Well, I have to say, MLG Dallas, they say you always remember your first, but obviously I'll remember NASL because that was my first real esports event, but this is my first MLG I've ever been to. So it was just outstanding. It was just spectacular. Like the words just can't describe it. Having the press access is nice. there's still some areas you can't get into, like the player area and stuff like that. But you have 2 reserved front row seating. It's for 2 first rows of the stage is reserved for press. And you know, it was busy. I was working a lot. I didn't really have a lot of time to enjoy it as much as I could have. But I think because I was working there, it really made the event special for me. The amount of interviews we got done. I mean, ESFI produced over like 3 hours worth of video content, hundreds of photos. I think Frank might be showing you some of those photos from our photographer Carlton Diener, who's an absolute monster with his cameras. It's like $18,000 worth of top photograph equipment. But yeah, no, we had an excellent team. We had Brent, we had Joseph, we had Jeb, Kathy, and Matt Owens. All these guys coming together. Justin Katie, our League of Legends guy. We had all these guys coming together, and it just made such a special event for me. But my esports moment had to be when Grubby and Flash played the first game of the thing. I don't know if everybody remembers it, but they did a little bit of talking on stage before that.
Yeah.
And Grubby said he was going to draw blood and he'd show that everybody that Flash is mortal, and it was a really cool HUD. I can't do it justice because Grubby's too cool, but it was like the crowd just went nuts, and I'm like, all right, this is what an esports event is like.
Oh, that's
and then we got to
amazing.
interview Flash right after that match, and he was sitting like a few feet away from me in the press room. I was just like I had this stupid smile on my face, like I couldn't even speak to him. It was funny. All of us were in the press room for that interview. We didn't even have anything to do with the interview, but we were all in the press room just staring at Flash. I think he was like really freaked out by all the people who were in there just staring at him. But the Grubby versus Flash, it's probably the opening thing is probably my esports moment in Montreal, Dallas.
You met a god, man.
I
You
did.
lived to tell
Shook
the
his
tale.
hand. Shook his hand out to half hour.
Okay, so we have a question here from the chat just now. Shazamade.
So many questions in the chat are from fellow ESFI colleagues
Oh,
that are
they
just
can't.
I
asking.
still think this one's not a bad question. though.
Okay, I wasn't sure which one you were going to ask.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Frank, shoot it.
Oh, you want me to go? So,
Dear Tom.
Shazamator, I hope I'm saying that right. He said, "Dear Thomas, what does it mean to be Canadian and in esports?"
I don't know. I mean, look at my company that I have on this show right now. I mean, I'm not the only Canadian esports. Jacqueline Geller, who works at Blizzard now, she's Canadian. And, you know, there's so many Canadians in esports, and it's weird because when I went to Dallas, I didn't meet that many. You know, everyone there was pretty much American, and it was actually a big deal. I actually had my poppy on my blazer. It was just I was wearing it before I left. I didn't take it off, so it was just with me. And I had a whole bunch of people ask me about it. That was kind of weird, but yeah, it's to be a Canadian esports, it's fun because there's not a lot of, I don't know, I guess there's not as many big name Canadians in esports, but it's nothing that special. Thank you for your question, Shazamatter.
Shazamatter. He also asked who your favorite coworker at ESFI is, so I'm guessing it's someone you work with. Other questions have been, who is the best League of Legends content director?
Just ignore them.
I
If
think
they're that
she's a
specific,
girl. Sorry about
if
that.
they're that specific, just don't even bother with them because they're just my coworkers trolling.
There was something about a goat in there, but I'm not going to ask that.
No goat.
Shout out to Hydralus as well in the chat, who's a big fan of ours. So props to him.
John?
So,
Yep.
I think the last question comes from our forums as well. Obviously, we can chat more about other things, but Dave Creamer asks, would you credit your success more to hard work or what he calls stick-to-itiveness?
I guess, what's the difference? It's like
Yeah, I thought those two were
That's-
pretty...
Is that like stubbornness? Is that just like people kept on shutting me down and then I was just like kept going with it? Or
Like, Thomas, you stuck, but then you just keep going.
I guess, yeah, like if you think about it this way, hard work could be you're going towards a goal and you you feel that you'll achieve it, but stick-to-itness maybe more like you're facing adversity and you're still going towards the goal. Maybe that would at least separate them?
In terms of adversity, I mean, I wouldn't say it's been that adverse. ESFI is probably a lot of people don't know this, but it's like one of the greatest organizations in esports right now, in my opinion. Like, we have a high turnover rate with some people, but the people that stick around are like the coolest people I've ever met. Some of the coolest people I've ever met in my entire life. And the fact that even when I started, people were there always on Skype or whatever, just to help me format an article or show me how to do this or show me how to do that. So, I mean, it was hard work probably, and that's just, I say that lightly because, I mean, how hard is it actually to watch StarCraft and, write about it? It's like a dream come true for some people. So, I mean, obviously there were some times when I was like, what the hell am I doing? Waking up at 6 in the morning to watch IEM, because of the time differences and stuff like that, and having to write recaps and stuff like that. So it's been a hard journey, but it's been enjoyable for me just because of the people that I've met and the people that I've gotten to work with. I mean, it's a volunteer organization, so the people who are there are like yourselves. Like ESE is a volunteer organization too, right?
Yep.
It's the people who are there, want to be there, and they're passionate about what they're doing. And that's why they're there, because there's no material gain out of it.
Yeah.
Well said.
Indeed. I think that means lightning round, or is there something more, John?
Oh, God, we did not in any way or shape or form prepare
Are
lightning
you
round.
kidding?
Are you sure, John?
Nick,
Why don't you look again?
Oh, my
Go look at
good
the top.
God.
Look at that.
But these are just rehashed, clutched questions.
No, they're not.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't watch our show.
Oh, man. These
What are you
are
guys
pretty
talking
good.
about? I've watched your show like 3 times out of the 12.
Thomas is like so awesome.
Whoa!
Yeah, I
Number
tried.
one fan. That's pretty
You're
good.
the
That's pretty
viewer.
good. That's pretty good.
All right.
You can always watch
John?
all of our shows on YouTube, too.
Mm.
They're always good. I put them up. All right, Thomas, as a fan of the show, I need not introduce you to the lightning round. You should be well-versed in the ways of the lightning round. But for our viewers, I will tell them that the lightning round is 10 questions. Very personal, hard-hitting questions. Some of them are skill testing as well. And they are in succession, one right after the other, as fast as I can say them. And I need you to answer as fast as you can say them. So, Thomas Shifrer from ESFI, are you ready to step into the lightning round?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Like that answer. Question number 1, vanilla or chocolate?
Noah.
Incorrect. Number 2, Pokemon red or blue?
Red.
0 for 2. Number 3, if I couldn't be an esports journalist, I would be...
James Bond.
Nice.
Half point.
Topical. Very topical.
Number 4, Mario or Link?
Link.
Correct. Number 5, short stories or poetry? All right, these
Short
were made in a
stories.
rush.
Short stories.
What's your favorite short story?
Oh wow. I guess I'm 0 for 3 now, or 4, because I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Put him on
Just
the
say
spot,
anything
John.
by Isaac Asimov and you're good to go.
I like a lot of Russian literature.
There you
Few
go.
short stories by Chekhov that I enjoy quite a bit.
+1. Number 6, favorite Beast Wars Transformer?
Cheetah. No, the rat. The rat guy.
Rat
Rat
trap.
Rat Trap.
Rat trap. Yeah.
Shout out to Mike McDermott. Number 7, are you the number 1 invoker?
Yes. In America. I am the best invoker.
We are going to have to fact check that, but I'll give you a temporary half point. Number 8, best food truck at U of T.
The Russian poutine, the Russian fry truck outside Six Smith Hall. Just because they speak Russian.
Number 9, favorite Zerg, Terran, and Protoss player currently. One from each race.
Favorite Zerg. Life. Favorite Terran. Warzane. Favorite Protoss. I hate all Protoss.
That is correct. Oh my
Where's the
god, that's
left?
plus 3.
Johnny did not, huh?
That is
Love.
plus 3. I was just about to remind you that Songers and Jovian both play toss, and to
I
take
know
that
that.
into account.
I'm well aware. I'm well aware of that.
It's just mad I beat him
I've
last
been
time.
on the receiving end of Nick's bullshit colossi.
Whoa, no need to swear. And number 10, the final question. The hottest person in esports, not yourself, or anyone outside of this Skype call.
Damn, that narrows. That's a decision. Then. 'Cause I
I'm
was gonna say
kidding.
Frank.
It could be. Oh, okay, well then, Frank. Frank, all right, that's
Purple
-5.
shirt's
Ooh.
doing it for me.
It's
Seriously,
the
that's a pimp shirt, man.
All right, let's cue these up
Tally
here.
it up.
Oh god, it's the worst part. John doing math.
John can't do math. No.
All right, it looks like 7, but I also see you're not sporting a mustache right now, so that's -3. Currently, you have our lowest score of all time.
Oh,
As a fan of the show, you probably know that most people do score 7 or 8. You scored 4. So,
Wait.
Thomas, you can come back into losers round, man. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
double
Silva
elimination.
scored -5.
oh yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah.
Look,
I don't
like
even. I don't really
to
consider
something
him
on the
people
show.
though.
I
So
mean,
John, I don't even see your mustache actually.
Yeah, where's?
are you kidding me right now?
Can you guys see my mustache?
Whoa, get that out of there.
Don't even- it's
all right, a little bit.
Awesome, Thomas. You had questions for us too, didn't you? As a journalist.
I didn't prepare questions for you, but I can definitely ask you questions. It's part of my trade, obviously. I can.
So well versed.
All right. As a fair deal, as a fellow Canadian, I'm willing to give you back a few points for the lightning round if you can give us some poignant questions.
Okay. One for each.
Sure, one for each.
John Quinn,
Yes.
were you in broadcasting before you started working at Esports Canada?
I was not in live broadcasting, no. I have an extensive theater and short film / screen background through university, high school, and community theater and film.
So
Okay.
you're unemployed? John's probably.
He's not even talking.
Thank
He's
you. Thank you, Thomas,
We can't
for that
see John's
question.
face in Skype, but
No, I was just wondering the question because you have
He has the
radio voice.
He does.
I get that a
he
lot.
does have the radio voice, and that's a dead giveaway, obviously, to some sort of broadcasting talent.
I have the face for it.
Past.
You have the face
Peter.
for radio.
Next song.
Yes.
What challenges do you face being in such a highly demanding program at your graduate school, and also balancing your esports famousness on top of that?
That's a good
Working
question.
for Esports Canada.
Thankfully, where I am doing graduate school, no one even follows esports, so it kind of just goes under the rug. But I kind of keep the two lives a little bit more separate than I would like to. It'd be
Next
cool.
question.
Okay.
How many times have you used StarCraft in your lesson plans?
Actually, 0. I want to be able to use games and education more. That's like my goal in life, to be able to incorporate these two things that I really love. So far, none. But hopefully in the future, we'll see.
So basically, you have no passion for esports, is what you're telling me.
I love esports.
I like where this is going. You are gaining a lot of points right now.
Give him
This
give
is.
that man 10 points right
I just want the
I want
monkey.
to see how he rounds things out with Frank.
now. Yeah,
Oh, damn, this is going to be the hard one.
Yep.
Just ask
Frank?
him, dude.
You just know I like purple shirts, I think.
How difficult is it to pick out your wardrobe before every show?
His wife picks
Frank,
up what
Frank consistently asks me what I'm wearing before the show starts. What are you wearing tonight for the
Usually,
show?
John like to coordinate our clothes so that we make Nick feel like the odd man out.
True.
Actually, I was wearing a different shirt before this, and then I
You
was thinking,
changed into a purple shirt?
I did, because I was like, have I worn this shirt? And I think people only might see me once a week, and if I'm wearing the same shirt 2 weeks ago, it's bad. So I made a conscious effort to choose a shirt I haven't worn yet, so I'm just going to go through my wardrobe one shirt at a time.
Okay, more poignant question. So from what you've seen, you said you've been involved in esports since July at NASL, which is when I incidentally met you as well. What has your experience been like? Just getting involved in ESC and just spectating all these events and stuff like that.
I have to say, and I can't believe I'll say this on air, but I'm so happy that I met Nick Song, because I have been into games and I've been into competitive games. I used to play Natural Selection 1 a ton, Counter-Strike a ton. I used to play StarCraft a long time ago until I realized how bad I was and then I quit. But I played a lot of Dota. Like, I played a lot of competitive esports, but I didn't realize there was a community out there. I didn't realize there was a place where I fit in. So after I met Nick and he revealed this beautiful world, it's like I was Jasmine and he was Aladdin bringing me on the carpet. He's like, I'll show you the world. And everything is just so beautiful now. So I feel like I'm exactly where I want to be. And being at NASL was like my baptism. And I hope to go on many more years doing exactly this now that I realize exactly what's out there.
How difficult is it for you to cast games when how have you like made up for that deficit of not following the scene for like a year, and now you're casting games? Like I've seen you, man. I've been watching you and Nick casting your games. You guys got a little bit of chemistry going there.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because me and Nick are lovers, and we have good chemistry. But yeah, I don't know. I'm learning quickly though, so that's one thing I've always been happy about, is that I can learn quickly, and because it's something I'm passionate about. It's like I used to play Ragnarok a lot, Ragnarok Online, and I used to like just know things, stats and cards and all these things, and I used to think to myself, God, I wish I was as good at school as I am in games. Like, I just memorized this stuff, right? So it's the same thing here, because it's a passion of mine, because I love it so much. I'm just learning it quickly, and I want to, so I'll just go and look up stats on units and compositions and stuff, and I'll just read about this stuff because it interests me, and I'll try to retain it because, again, it interests me. So I'm trying to fill that gap. I know I'm a long way from where I could be, but I know that ceiling is high and I'm reaching for it. So hopefully me and Nick will get more experience casting at any event, and it can only rise from here, really.
Hey, there you go. You guys brought a journalist on, and then there's your question.
Those are some good questions.
Well, Frank actually had the best questions. John had good questions too, but Nick, I just didn't know.
You just we're like this. You don't need to give me good questions. I know you care.
Let me tally this up now that you've semi-redeemed yourself. You stroked my ego about my broadcasting, so that's +1. You also chose to ask me first, which is another +1.
Wow, John, so conceited.
This guy.
The worst.
And his notebook.
You didn't leave Nick for last, though, so that's no change. And you gave Frank like 10 minutes to talk just solo, and he got pretty gushy there. It was like Aladdin references. You said chemistry like 4 times. I'll give you the +2. You walk away with 6.
Oh god.
I wanted to be known as the person with the least amount of points.
Well,
that would be a significant blip on the Esports Canada weekly talk show.
Yo, guys, check out the comments. If you guys play that video, I know which video that is.
Maybe we can do it and then throw it a break?
Is
that a good idea?
It's the Thomas.
I'll leave it just a couple seconds of that playing before we.
Are we playing a certain interview that may or may not have happened at NASL?
Yes, I do believe so.
Okay. Well, it's your show, guys.
Just the only comment on the video is the wizard. Ha! What a nerd. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Thomas, for coming on the show. Are there any shout-outs you want to give, or places that we can follow you and keep up with what you're doing?
Absolutely. Obviously, I'm going to be hopefully continuing my work at ESFI. So if you just want to follow the best esports coverage website on the web right now, you can go to esfiworld.com. You can follow the Twitter at ESFI for updates on our live blog. Every time we're at events, we're running a live blog now, so you get up-to-date scores, things going on at the event, happenings and stuff like that. In galleries, a whole bunch of stuff. Our live coverage has really gone through the roof nowadays. So that's ESFI. Personally, you can follow me at The Wizard. That's at The Wizard with a 4 because I speak, and an underscore because I'm cool as shit. And that's it for me. I'm gonna be still working my ass off in esports and gonna continue to be doing it. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on. This has been a great pleasure. You guys are really doing great work too. Shout out to Esports Canada, obviously, for bringing esports home for me to Canada. I've been a staunch attender of all your bar crafts and all your events and stuff like that. So just keep doing what you're doing, guys, because you're doing great.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thomas,
Thank you.
will you come back on the show at some point? Maybe after your next big trip?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Nick knows he's got my number. So just
Lucky
anytime you
guy.
want to bring me on, I'd be happy to be a guest on here. It's been a great pleasure.
There's only a chosen few that we've handpicked to return.
Okay.
So
Well,
you join
I mean,
Mike
I-
Daniels as the only
I need to
other guest
repeat
we've asked to
my
come back.
lightning score round, or my lightning round score. So I have to come back sometime.
Well, we will gladly have you back. We got a video from the chat that we're going to play to lead us out.
Oh God.
So I'm going to turn that on, and then I'm going to cut to the break screen, and then we will be back after that. We're going to talk about Lan Wars IV that happened in Toronto, Lonestar Clash happening in Dallas over the weekend, the Bell Fiber Off Gaming Cup coming up over the next year, and my hilarious story about the stolen laptop. Don't cut me off there, Frank. That's very rude.
I'm not.
Sports
Wait.
Canada. What? No, what do you got? What do you got?
And if people are interested, we can do a Dota 2 key giveaway. If anybody doesn't have a key, and they're still in for it. We can
Yeah,
do a
let's say if we
giveaway,
get
at the end of the show.
like 6 more viewers, then we'll do the Dota giveaway.
Okay, John. So go tell your friend.
Go
Tell
tell
your
all
friends.
your friends. Tell them all. Thank you very much, Thomas. Make sure to follow Thomas at _wizard with a 4, super elite, and enjoy this embarrassing video. Too late, bud. Welcome back, everyone. Oh man, those overlays. So happy
Wow.
that worked
Whoa.
out. So happy
How
that
did-
worked out.
How did you... Sorcery. What sorcery is this?
I know, it's
Wow.
straight black magic, guys. I don't want to get into it. I can't reveal all of my secrets.
Sacrifice some bunnies.
That's weird, man. That's really weird. Guys, if you're in the chat right now, please invite all of your friends in. If we hit, I'm not going to give away the number because it's just embarrassing, but if we get 7 more people, 6 more people, then we're going to start giving away Dota 2 keys. So if you want some Dota 2 keys, invite all your friends. Post a link on Facebook, tweet it, open your front door, and yell out EsportsCanada.tv. Only if you live in like a suburban area, though. All right, guys. Thank you to Thomas. That was fantastic.
Oh, what? Good guy. Good guy,
Yeah,
Tom.
he was super nice. We always get the nicest guests.
I know, right?
It's just super nice.
Oh my god. So nice.
That's offensive. All right, guys, you attended Lan Wars IV on the weekend in Toronto. Fill me in.
Oh gosh, Nick, do you want to go first? Because you just say something bad. I'll just remedy.
Yeah, I might as well just get me out of the way so you can, pick up my pieces that I've dropped all over the ground. But we were at Lan Wars at UOIT, which is the University of Ontario Institute of Technology, and this was their 4th year of hosting the Lan War. And basically it's all...
Fourth year.
Fourth Lan War,
year,
right.
but
They
it's
do...
their fourth
See, I
event,
messed
yeah.
up already.
Okay, try. I can try, bro. Go ahead.
But it was totally student run. They had and it was just great. Everyone brought their PCs there. We had tournaments. We were on Team Liquid for the stream. Frank and I were casting StarCraft. We had other people casting League of Legends, Dota, Team Fortress 2, and overall it was just such an amazing event. Everyone was just talking to each other about the games they liked, the games that they played. There was Rock Band in the corner, which I sucked at, but I had a great time.
Yeah, fighting games. I really like this stuff. So it was a lecture theater at UOIT, and everyone basically sat up their computers. There's pictures actually also on the main page of our website. John, if you do get a chance, you can put it up. But yeah, so there was in the middle, in the seating area, there was everyone setting up all their computers. So just a bunch of nerd ballers sitting like shoulder to shoulder playing games. On the side where the steps were going up, they had set up multiple gaming stations. So they had like an N64 where you could play Smash Brothers. They had in the back, they had some more recent fighting games. So there's like Capcom fighting games and all these different fighting games along the edge. And in the very front, they had Rock Band. And yeah, they had tons of tournaments. They even had a Twinkie eating contest. It was a lot of fun. And the Twinkie eating contest was definitely the showstopper. And these sponsors really came through. So Valve gave them free Counter-Strike Global Offensive games for trial for the event because they're like, maybe not everyone has it, so here's like, I don't even know how many keys, they can play it on this if they want. Riot gave a whole bunch of swag, Timo hats, water bottles, things like that. Prize money, Cooler Master brought all these products, mice, keys, cases, a lot of really cool things. So people were leaving with some really awesome things, and a lot of the money, I think all the proceeds went to a good cause, to a charity, and people were also bringing in food donations for a food bank in the Durham region. So really good. Like
Nice.
so many good things came out of that, other than just the fact that people were gaming for 36 hours straight. So much good also came out of that. So it was really awesome to see.
Super jelly of that.
You should be jelly.
I tuned in a few times to the stream, and it was mostly just crowd shots. But from what I saw of the crowd shots, it looked pretty packed, and a lot of people playing a lot of games.
Yeah.
Tony, our production guy, he said that he was so busy fixing everyone's computers and running around doing everything, he didn't have a chance to cast or do much with the stream. So
Yeah, it was hard. But,
good to hear
I'm
that he was
sure
busy at
as
least.
time
I heard there was no catastrophic problem, so congratulations on that.
lots of fun.
Did you guys have a chance to watch any Lonestar Clash while you were there?
God, no. I had like 1 hour of sleep that whole time, and the rest of it was gaming and setting stuff up and casting. So
Frank and I both passed out in a little corner of the room, and people didn't even know we were there. They were like, "Where's Nick and Frank?" And people were just walking all over us and everything. It was pretty funny.
I watched a ton of it. I'll put up the bracket right there. Nothing too surprising came out of it, but there was a lot of really great games. I was traveling actually on the weekend. I went to a film festival Friday night to watch a couple premieres that I hadn't seen yet, some acting that I did last year. And during my 2-hour commute, I managed to stream this tournament off my phone and listen to it. And, and listening to StarCraft is actually just as fun as watching it, I discovered.
Yeah.
So
It's so nice. Like I've noticed that as well. You know, I'll be doing something else. I can just listen to it now. You know, before I don't really watch sports myself, but you know, like my dad or stuff, he would listen to basketball games or something on the radio, and I'd just be like, "How do you even know what's going on?" But now I get that. That.
yeah, I find it's not totally the same because there is a pretty large visual component. Because I've listened to hockey and stuff on the radio when I'm traveling, or like there's an out-of-town game for our local team or something, and you can kind of picture what's going on the ice because it's a bit more basic setup. But when they're giving like army descriptions and whatnot, they're talking about like micro-wing back units, I was just like, what? Like, where are they on the map? Like, who's attacking and whatnot? But it was still good to get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Stefano walked away with that. He beat Bomber in an extended series. Ganji was a monster pretty much all tournament. He had some fantastic play. And in-game and out-of-game, he was a monster.
Frank, you may have missed it, but Gonzi went on stage, and he was explaining to like these two girls how to do the Gonzi style dance.
Okay. I
And
think I saw a picture of that on Reddit, but I didn't get the context.
it was so funny. He was. You need to watch it to see it, but we should put the link up in the chat, which I will try to find. But it was pretty amazing to see.
Yeah, he gained a lot of fans that weekend. His English was pretty decent, and he did a lot of pretty funny interviews. So yeah, I imagine that Lone Star will be doing that again. They also had a League of Legends portion. The numbers were a bit higher for League of Legends, pretty much all weekend long. Even though StarCraft did have 2 separate streams, there was an A stream and a B stream. But anytime I tuned into the B stream, there was nothing but just like the Lone Star logo. So I'm not sure if they did actually have games playing there, if they kept them all on the main stage, because it seemed like there was only one game ever happening at a time. But yeah, League of Legends was doing like 40, 50,000. StarCraft was low 30s, mid 30s, pretty much all weekend long. So good competition. It sucked though because they had prizes to give away to the live crowd, but they split them between StarCraft and League of Legends. So they would just have like one prize, and they would come up to the StarCraft audience and be like, "All right, we have this Thermaltake keyboard, and the number is like 51209." Oh, okay, I guess it's the League of Legends crowd. And then they would just like walk away with it into the other room and give it to the League of Legends crowd. It was pretty heartbreaking, but at least a lot of people walked away with gear, so that's good.
I really wanted to walk away with gear from Lan Wars. I was really upset that I didn't participate in. I don't think I could have because I was part of the production team, so it would have been like fishy if I won. But I was like, oh, because Nick's on my keyboard. I'm still rocking like the first keyboard ever made.
Show him.
So,
Bring it up on camera. Show everyone.
Do you guys want to see this?
Yeah,
I'd love to.
I took out.
Oh man!
Oh,
How do you like
good.
that, huh?
At least you ripped
John,
the Windows
this is the
key
keyboard
off.
that beats you. This one.
Ooh,
You beat me once with some crappy
I
Void
retired.
Ray
I
all
retired
in
from
that song
playing
I
you.
just gave you. Play me one game.
Rematch.
Do a cheesy build.
You know that John Quinn is in plat now.
I
Yeah.
noticed, yeah. So you
Yeah.
probably start killing me.
We should
Yeah,
we
I'm
should
in
do a
plat.
show match. We should yes
I
this
will
is happening.
100% play you right after
This is
show.
happening.
I'm actually really proud of you, John. That's a really big milestone. I was trying so hard before my daughter's birth, but then when she was born, I was like, fuck it, can't do it anymore. I had to stop.
Mike Daniels calling for a show match. The only way we can do a show
Oh.
match is best 2 out of 3, and I don't know if we have time for that. But if we do want to do it, I will do it. I would rather play from home though, so someone else is gonna have to stream it.
I have an idea. So we're
play
gonna
it, and Nick and I can cast it for YouTube
exactly.
channel.
We're going to do it like this. Sometime we're gonna have a show match. I'm gonna record it and we'll upload that to the YouTube channel.
Yes,
Okay,
I like the sounds of that.
done.
Best 2 out of 3.
Best 2 out of 3. Okay.
And Songers, you're not invited.
Who's gonna watch?
No, I just meant you can't play in it. 'Cause
Of course
you're-
not.
Supposedly you're good.
What own you?
Well, you're not good, but you're better than us.
Ha ha ha.
I just had this hilarious post come up on Facebook, and I have to show it just because. Look at this. If you two could watch the stream, this is an arcade controller right now that someone had custom made.
That is badass.
Wow.
Can you
That's
imagine
so
getting
good.
schooled by someone using that? You would
I'd
just
be so mad.
be so- yeah.
Cut
Who do you
it
come
out.
You look. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na.
Did you guys
Could've
know
done
that
without
which one was the one who said cut it out? Was it Joey or Jesse? No, it was
Joey.
Joey, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that he had an affair with Alanis Morissette?
Yes,
I had to explain that to Nick.
that's like
Wow,
10 years ago. That's old
I was too-
Canadian lore.
I was too young for that.
Many people
Dave
know.
Coulier.
I wasn't even Canadian 10 years ago. Wait a second.
And
No.
he now plays Dota 2, so that's why we're talking about it.
Is he?
No, he doesn't. I was just saying it's not esports related whatsoever, so we'll just lie
What
and
if he
say he
does?
plays Dota 2.
Yeah, you never know.
I think he does, actually. I'm pretty sure that
Maybe
he
he
does.
plays under the moniker Jagged Little Pill. Hi-yo.
I follow his MySpace, and he's always posting Dota 2 jokes.
All right, let's get back on task, guys.
Yes,
Alright.
we need to talk about the Bell Alliant Fiber Off Gaming Cup, which
Go for it, John.
is a huge thing that's happening all across Canada, and it starts in 1 week's time, and I need all y'all StarCraft 2 and League of Legends players to go right now to facebook.com/frag for cancer, because you can sign up right now for a one-day tournament, and then there's one-day finals. Next week it's going to start on Sunday, November 18th at 11 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, so that would be 10 Eastern, and that's going to be League of Legends all day, and it's hosted by us as well as Jarrett Kale from Pure Ponage. And it is a free-to-join tournament, and it's open to anyone from across Canada. We are giving away $5,000 worth of prizes between StarCraft and League of Legends. and you can sign up right now off the facebook.com/frag4cancer page. And then next weekend, not this upcoming Sunday, but the Sunday after, is going to be the StarCraft 2 tournaments, and it's also free to join. I think it's $1,000 or $1,500 worth of prizes for first place. Open to anyone in Canada. It's hosted by us, Esports Canada, as well as Lag TV. So if you enjoy Lag TV, like I do, then definitely tune into that. That as well starts at 11 a.m. Atlantic Standard, 10 a.m. Eastern. And all of that's going to be streamed on the twitch.tv/frag4charity channel. And we'll link to that on our page, as well as you can see it on their Facebook page. The tournament's going to be run through Zeek, so they ask that once you sign up on the Facebook page that you go and fill out all the Zeek information, and then they'll send you an invite code, and that's how you sign up for the tournament. So it's going to be a one-day, all-day tournament, and then once they narrow it down to the final 4 for each game, those are going to happen on Sunday, December 2nd. So it's going to be like an all-day of finals where the matches are now best of 3 or best of 5 or best of 7 instead of the best of 1s and best of 3s before. And that's going to be Lag TV, Jared Kale, and us as well on Sunday, December 2nd. And Nick and Frank, you guys are casting for StarCraft on November 25th. So they're going to be kicking off the stream and doing some of the earlier games before they hand it over to Lag TV in the primetime spot. So thank you very, very much to Bell Fiber Op Gaming for putting this on. Basically, this is the Fall Cup. So they're doing 3 weeks of gaming, where it's League of Legends 1 week, StarCraft the next, and then the finals the week after, and that completes the Fall Cup. And then I believe they're going to be doing spring, summer, winter, spring, summer, and the summer one may not be online. It may in fact be a live tournament, but those details are yet to be announced, so I won't talk any more about that and spoil it all. But please, please, please go to facebook.com/frag4cancer and sign up for this amazing tournament. You can also find it on the Bell Fiber Op Facebook page. You can sign up for it there, and it is totally free, and there's over $5,000 worth of prizes for winners and people watching the stream as well. They're going to be giving away prizes and things like that, so it's going to be crazy. And I think that there's a bunch of money that goes to charity as well. It's crazy. There's too much. I can't even follow it all.
We'll have to talk about it next week too.
Exactly.
Yep.
We'll have to follow it so we know what to say. Just before we even talk about anything else, just a little bit of news here. Combat X, who was going to represent Canada at WCG. Oh, well, no, never mind. I said that totally wrong. He wasn't going. He got second place, but Alexis Mois apparently had to drop out from his position. And now, so Combat X is going to China.
Yeah, so Combat X placed second in Toronto versus Hendrilisk, and then second in Montreal versus Alexis Mois. Alexis Mois. And just as Nick said, so because he got second, I guess he just got the bump up. So it's going to be Combat X, Fire Zerg from Vancouver, Hendrilisk from Toronto, and Combat X from the Eastern National Finals WCG. So
yeah, it's going to be. I don't know.
A lot of people are mad about that.
A lot of people are.
But I mean, it's not like he.
Why Alexei had to drop out.
He said visa. I heard visa issues. That he couldn't travel because of it.
That sucks.
Or travel issues or something.
That really sucks because he played his heart out and he won pretty convincingly. It was like 3-1 against Combat X. So.
Yeah, he stomped him pretty bad.
John, tell us about your laptop.
All right, so this is there's 9 minutes left, and that's probably just about as long as this will take. But this is a fantastic story.
Are you serious?
It's not that long.
Like
a
an
story.
epic
it's fairly
adventure.
long. All right, so I bought my girlfriend a laptop for Christmas last year. It was nothing fancy. It was a good Asus laptop. I paid $400 for it, and it was a used, refurbished model at this local computer store that I always go to. Anyways, gave it to her. It was fantastic, and she was in Fredericton at the time, which was like an hour and a half away from where I live, going to school. And so when she had computer problems or needed help doing something, I installed this program that I use for work called LabTech, and it's a remote management software that lets me go in and use VNC so I can view your desktop or go in, make changes, do all sorts of things, and I can view information of what your IP address is, what software is installed, just get a good overlay report of what's going on with the computer. So I had that installed. Fast forward to about 3 months ago, and she was going to trivia one night, and she had her laptop with her in her car, and she took it out because she was in a sketchier part of the city. So she took out the laptop and went to go put it in the trunk of the car, and she saw these two sketchy dudes across the street kind of watching her. And she was just like, oh, all right, well, didn't really think anything of it. Threw the laptop in the trunk, went into trivia, came back out 2 hours later. Her front window was smashed, and trunk was popped open, and the laptop, which was in a bag full of like a bunch of clothes that she had just bought, were all gone. So she was out like $500, $600, $700. And this is not a representation of St. John or the Atlantic Canadian region. So I had the serial number, and I had like an invoice and everything from when I bought the laptop. And so we went around all the pawn shops, gave all the information, and we followed Kijiji for like 2 or 3 weeks, seeing if anyone posted a laptop, Asus laptop, any sort of laptop. And as well, I looked in LabTech to see if this computer came online. She had a password on the laptop, so there wasn't any way for someone to go online without the password unless they wiped the computer, which would also wipe LabTech, which means I couldn't find them anyway.
Right.
So we were kind of out of luck in that sense. So a couple weeks passed. We looked around, waited for calls from pawn shops. Nothing happened. Totally forgot about it. I got another laptop for her like 2 or 3 weeks ago through work. It was just like a used, crappier model, and and so I had that all ready to go. And I'm sitting there on LabTech like 3 or 4 days ago doing something for a client, and all of a sudden I see this computer pop up that comes online, and I was just like, what? Like, that computer hasn't been online for like 4 months. And so I go in, I look at it, all the files are still there, all of her school stuff, all the documents, everything. The computer like basically hasn't been touched. The only thing that I can guess is that the password's been reset. So my guess is whoever stole it took it to a pawn shop, got rid of it. The pawn shop said, well, this is blocked, we can't sell it. They got someone either in-house or somewhere to remove the password, and then just left it as is instead of wiping it and having to get a copy of Windows and everything all over again. So I'm watching this computer, and I'm just like, okay, where is it? Like, why all of a sudden after 4 months can I see it? So I go in, and I start looking around, poking in. I get the IP address, everything. And I go into VNC, and her desktop's the same. Like, all her icons are still there, little like notes that she's left. And I was like, who is using this? And so I just watched the guys using it, and he's going around looking through the computer, just like looking at all her different school documents and stuff. I'm like, all right, this is not something you're interested in. Fine, I'm just waiting so this guy can go onto Facebook and I can see who he is, like who he's logged in as. And so he doesn't know that I'm connected. He doesn't know that I'm watching him. So I'm watching and I'm waiting like 2, 3, 4 hours of this guy just like poking around the computer, opening up random videos, random documents, skimming through them. And then finally he opens up Chrome, and I was like, sweet, here we go. He's got to go right to Facebook. Everyone, 90% of the people in the world open up Chrome, they go to Facebook. Opens up Chrome, he goes to worldstarhiphop.com. He proceeds to watch like 3 hours worth of just the worst videos on the internet. And I'm not talking about like gore or profane, or just awful, just like useless videos. The last one I watched, it was called Spoof, Jay-Z Gets Head in the Back of a Cab. So it was a guy who looks like Jay-Z pretending to get fellatio in the back of a taxi. And this was the kind of stuff that was being watched. And I was just like, all right, man, like, please just go somewhere, go on Facebook, do something so I can find out who you are so I can get this laptop back. He closes down Chrome and everything, and the computer goes idle for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I think I have a window here where I can go and install Prey. And what Prey is, it's an open source program that you're supposed to have on your laptop before it gets stolen, but I added it in after the fact.
And this is so dangerous. Like,
I know.
I can see you.
I know. So he can see me do all this stuff, but I think that he's just left the computer for a few minutes. So I go and install Prey, and that way I can see what wireless network he's connected to. I can get like a GPS location on Google Maps. I can get the webcam will take a picture of where the laptop is, like a whole bunch of information. So I'm like, all right, I need this program on there. So I have like a 2-3 minute window tops, and I go, boom, I'm in, I open up Chrome, preyproject.org, I download the program, I type in all my information, I'm going through all the settings, making sure that it's reporting back to me in the right way. Boom, save, everything's done. Clocked in at like 2.5. Oh, the heart was just like racing. A couple of my coworkers were behind me, and they were just like, "Oh man, go, hurry!" And so it finishes, everything stops. I'm like, "Sweet." And so the reports are supposed to come every 10 minutes. I wait 10 minutes, nothing. 20 minutes, nothing. 30 minutes, nothing. And I see that he's back on Chrome now, and he's like going around the internet looking at things. So I was like, "All right, what's the deal?" Like I installed this program. The reports are supposed to come every 10 minutes. So like an hour passes, and I have no reports. And I'm just like, "Okay, I've tried this before on other computers. Reports are supposed to come in 10 minutes." Finally, I just get fed up, and I'm like, all right, I don't think he's using it right now. I'm going to try to go to Facebook.com and see if he's still logged in. That way I'll get a name. If not, at least I'll get an email in like the username field, and I can use that to keep searching.
Right.
So I go and I type in FACEB, and the mouse moves. And I was just like, oh no, he's got me. So this guy knows that someone else is using his computer right now. So I go and just try to take the mouse back. He takes it back and he closes Chrome. I take the mouse and I open up Notepad, and I'm like, all right, it's time to pull the trigger. So I write down, hi there, this laptop is stolen. You're being tracked. I know a decent amount of information about you. If I wanted to go to the police, I could, but I don't want to. All I want is the laptop back. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to me. Please give it back. Here's my number where you can reach it. He takes the mouse and he tries to close Notepad. I take the mouse back and I type in, no, I'm in control now. Please type OK if you understand. He types OK into Notepad and he closes it. I'm like, all right, perfect. And then the connection gets lost, which means either he turned off the laptop or just like turned off the internet. So it's like, all right, I probably spooked him pretty well. Hopefully he gives me a call.
Yeah, I'd be freaking out at that on my computer.
Yeah. So 3 minutes passes, my phone rings, and it's my girlfriend, and she says, some guy just called me and says that he has my laptop. And my girlfriend Sarah had her phone number on the desktop in like one of the Windows widgets or whatever for her to pay her phone bill because it was like the account number. And so he saw that number and called, and so he was like, listen, I have this laptop, and I guess it's stolen. I didn't steal it. I don't want to get the cops involved or anything, but like I want to make this right. I see that you're a teacher and everything, and I feel bad. And so Sarah was like, okay, well, yeah, let's get it back. And he's like, all right, I'll call you like later on today. And she was like, well, give me your number, and then I'll just call you like when I'm home. And he was like, no, I don't really want to give you my number. And so I was like, all right, understandable. So I leave him another message and say, hey, thanks for calling my girlfriend. You can deal with me if you want, and I can help you, get the laptop back to me. I don't want to get the police involved, and I know you're probably out some money because he said he bought it off Kijiji. And I saw him right after he talked to Sarah. He opened up Chrome again, and he started looking on Kijiji for Ace's laptop to see the ad where he had bought it from. So I'm working with him, and I'm saying, I'll go with you to the police. We'll figure this out. And I could tell he didn't really want to get the police involved. So I said, okay, listen, I have a laptop here that I was going to give to my girlfriend anyway. I'll give you this laptop. It's decent. It's a good laptop in exchange for the one that you already paid for.
Wow, good guy, John.
Give me a call if you want to go through with this. And see, we're at 9 minutes now, and this is still going. I apologize. And so he calls me and says, are you the laptop guy? And I said, yes, that's me. Let's do this trade. Well, what's the new laptop like? And I was like, it's a HP DB6000. Well, what are the specs on it? I was like, really? Like, we're bartering right now over this stolen laptop? Like, I'm giving you a free laptop. Like, shut up and take it. so he's asking me, like, well, how big is the screen? Well, how fast is the wireless? And I'm just like, man, it's a fine laptop. Like, just take it. And he's like, okay.
Wow.
And so I knew where he was based on what wireless connection he was connected to and the Google Maps thing I got. And so I was like, where do you want to meet? I know that you're on the west side. And he was like, and so he got really spooked that I knew where he was. And so he was like, oh, well, I might be headed east. And I was like, okay, sweet. I was like, give me your number. I'll call you when I'm off work. And he was like, oh, I don't really feel comfortable giving you my number. I don't want to get the police involved and everything. And I was like, buddy, like, I've been tracking you since 10 a.m. this morning. I know you're at this location on the west side. You visited these websites. And I know your IP address. If I wanted the police at your door, I could have had it happen at 10 a.m. this morning. How about you just give me your number? And he was just like, I'll just call you at 5. And I was like, fine, I don't care. Let's just do this. So 5 o'clock, I met him out front of the mall. Sketchy, right? This guy could have been anyone. And so he pulled up, and he was like, where are you parked? And so I was like, around back. So we pull around back, and it's not so much of a public area anymore. It's just kind of like an empty parking lot with my car in one spot and his car in another.
The deal's going down.
Yeah, the deal is going down. I'm at the drop location. So he looks at me and he says, get in. And
What?
I was like, I don't really want to do that. And he was like, come on, just jump in. And I was just like, all right, like, we're in a mall parking lot. I don't think I'm going to get stabbed here. So I walk over to the other side of the car, and I'm standing there, and I go to open up the door, and another car just, like, peels in out of nowhere, and it parks right beside me. Right, so I'm stuck in between I'm stuck in between the laptop guy's car and this random car. And I was just like, wow, this just got really intense. So I turned around, I look at the other guy, and this other guy is just like gigantic, has tattoos all over his arms and everything. And I'm just like, wow, I'm about to get stabbed over this like $300 laptop. And so I'm standing there, my heart's racing. The laptop guy's like, get in, get in. And the other guy's just like staring me down. And finally he gets out of the car and he's standing over me, and he's like 6'5", and he just looks down at me and says, excuse me. And I just like moved aside, and the guy just like walked away, and he had nothing to do with the entire transaction. The laptop guy was just like, "Man, are you gonna get in or not?" And I'm just like white in the face, like sweating. I was just like, "Okay." And so I just like open the door. I finally get in. I leave one of my legs outside with the door open, so I can make a quick getaway if he pulls a switchblade or something on me. And he pulls out the laptop, and he's like, "Listen, dude, I'm really sorry. Like, I knew it was stolen and whatnot. Here, have it back." I was like, "Well, here's your laptop." He's like, "I hope everything is okay. I feel really bad about it. I'm just glad that this teacher has her laptop back." And we shook hands, and I stepped out of the car and readjusted my underpants, and we were good to go. And that is the laptop story.
Oh my
Bravo,
God.
bravo! Like that was a great story.
I can't believe some of the things you had to go through just to get that.
Wow.
But it had it all, man. That should be like a movie.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
we should
it was
film.
pretty fun.
Wow,
It was really fun.
that was. Wow, that should be. I should write that up. That should be an article on esports.
Well, the
Canada.
funny thing was, I went to that film festival that, like, as soon as I got the laptop, I drove to Fredericton to go to this film festival. And so I watched a bunch of movies, and everyone's like, "Oh, how was your day?" And I'm like, "You wouldn't believe this." So I tell the story, and I just have, like, 10 directors like, "We need to make this into a movie immediately." And so it was pretty funny.
You're getting pretty good feedback from the chat too. Everyone's like, "Wow,
fantastic."
that is
Yeah.
great."
Well, I'm glad that was part of the docket. So
Yeah,
that
I
was a
just,
good
well,
start.
you know, it's gaming related.
Yep.
But guys, we are out of time. Please go register for the Bell Alliant Fiber Off Gaming Cup as well. Did we plug Cold SC yet?
Nope.
Okay,
Good.
I will do that now, I guess. Or someone else can. I've been talking for like 18 minutes.
Nick can do it.
So I'm just gonna read this off of Team Liquid because I did not really know about that. But it's a charity tournament, Cold SC online charity tournament. And so the background on this, it was actually started by the organizer's mother, who used to do charity dinners for people who are less fortunate than them. So he's kind of continuing it on in his own sense, such as running these tournaments, and he's going to use this money to be donating to charity. So I have the link right here. I'm going to post it into the chat. But we're also already. Wait, no, he didn't. He didn't do it yet.
It's Frankfurt charity.
That's something else. So I've just posted it in the chat. So guys, go check it out. Sign up for it. The tournament starts on December 7th. It runs till December 9th. And it's in code A, B, and S. So code B is bronze, silver, gold. Code A is platinum and diamond. And then code S will be masters and grandmasters. So if, cost entry is $5. Half of it will go to charity, and the other half will be into the prize pool. So if you want to do a tournament for a good cause, definitely go sign up for that.
Guys, that was week 12. Do you guys want to do it next week? It's week 13. Should we skip it and just do week 14?
That'd be weird.
13's
like
not
an
a
elevator?
Well, okay.
13's
I mean,
not
this show is just an elevator, boys. It just keeps going up, and it stops once a week.
in Chinese culture, 13 is not a bad number, so we can do it.
How about in
John-
Italian culture?
No, it's fine. 13 is 13. Sounds
Yep.
so good, huh?
So we're all good.
Episode 13.
What about you?
Next week, do you want to do the Dota keys? I don't know. I feel like I don't want to leave people in limbo if they were sitting around. We did
No one's
the
stuck
number.
around anyway.
But
Let's save them up and we'll do them next week. Maybe we'll give one away on our Facebook page.
oh, let's do that.
Oh,
Let's
that's
do that. That sounds good. Let's do
Alright,
that.
guys.
Sounds fair.
Let me give you a quick update because it happened. Remember how I said Scarlett was waiting in the finals for Season 2 of the Russian Star League 2? She ended up losing to Lenok from the losers bracket in an extended series, so Lenok won 4-3. But when I did mention this earlier, Tony was like, that's good that she's like really, she's hanging with the big boys, right? Lenok is not an easy person to go through, so she brought him right to the ace match. So good for Scarlett. Wish that she would have won the competition, but you know, next time.
Next time, we'll talk about Ripmax. Frank, we'll talk about Ripmax.
No, it's over. Rimax is over.
No,
But
no,
can we
I
say
think we
who's
should
on
keep
next
talking
week?
about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about next
Maybe
time.
go through like a history of Ripmax. Talk about the big
Sure.
players.
Sure, we'll talk about how much of a jerk John is.
Oh my god.
So
I'm out there
next week
saving
on-
laptops at an alarming rate, Frank. All right, like the cyber Batman.
You're also judging big people with tattoos, thinking that they're murderers.
No, it
People
just
do job.
out of all the parking spots, I don't understand why I chose that one. That was weird.
Okay, so next week we have Mark Imagine Leonardo on the show from Vancouver, pro gamer, Taryn even. So make sure you visit our forums if you have any questions for him. Post some questions in there. We did get a lot of feedback actually from the Vancouver crowd who are more familiar with him. But also come back next week to hear what he has to say about Canadian esports.
Yeah, follow us all on Twitter at Quinn and the Nat, at ESC Songers, and at ESC Jovian as well. Follow Esports Canada at esports_Canada, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Esports Canada. Visit us on our website, esportscanada.ca. Join the forums, join the discussion, post pictures of yourself playing video games, holding a sign that says "We love Esports Canada." Thank you so much. That has been episode 12. Join us next week for episode 13 with our guest, Imagine. That has been all. Thank you to our sponsors. I don't even know if any of those guys actually sponsor us. All right, enjoy some Monster Cat, everyone.
John, you are ruining
I'm kidding. They all.
Asus
Do you know how
is our
much money we get from all these people? Monster Cat, so much.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Sorry we ran late tonight, guys. And as well, if you missed the first half of the show, you can watch the VOD right after or on YouTube. I always upload the episodes every Tuesday. And we love you, Hydrolus. You're great. Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Peace out.